Hello, and welcome back to Laying It Out. I am Chelsea Pockets.
And I'm Scotti Dempsey.
And we have returned from the dead. We are back. I'd like to sincerely apologize for the lack of content. To be honest, Scotti and I, we texted about this. We had those 2 episodes that came out earlier this year, and then it was, all right, Ultimate is kind of starting. Oh no, our jobs are horrible and we hate them. And life just is kind of a lot right now. So we weren't really able to record. And then we texted each other last week and we're like, hey, are we abandoning this or are we keeping this going?
And we are keeping it going.
So apologies again. But now, you know what? Club season rosters are starting to go out. The season's kicking off. Maybe this is a perfect time to restart the content, because you and me, we're club girlies through and through. We don't know how to hyperanalyze all those college play. Well, I don't actually. You're a reporter for D3. What am I saying? I don't know how to hyperanalyze college students playing Ultimate. So I'm back and paying attention. But you actually had a very busy season as well for D3.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just my real person job that was like super busy. I was on a deadline, so that kind of like gave me very limited brain capacity. But it was also like I went to D3 Nationals, and I would have loved to do an episode with you, but like, you know, Pockets, I don't think she mentioned, but you moved, right? And
I'm about to move. I ran back. We're recording this at 4 p.m. I stupidly left our apartment around 3 to go to our new one to drop off like the most recent load of clothes that I've packed up. And I forgot that like school is still in session and 3 o'clock is actually a horrible time to leave the house. So I made it back, but I'm sweaty.
Yeah. I mean, life really comes at you and it doesn't stop coming at you. Plus, like, my boyfriend broke his ankle like in, I want to say like the beginning of April or like mid-April. It feels like it's been like forever, but that has severely impacted my life. As 1, we live in New York City. So 2, we don't have cars. So 3, he kind of can't really go anywhere or do anything. And like between that and my job being busy, and then club, and he's going to coach our club team, so that's exciting. He's still very involved in traveling with us, but it's just been like life is crazy.
Yeah, but hey, we're back. Hopefully this is a fun summer, and we play a lot of Ultimate. And speaking of Ultimate, and mentioned it earlier, rosters dropping. We both know which team we're playing for the 2023 season. So
yay.
Insert drum roll. Scotti, which team are you playing for?
I am rostered on New York Swipes. We rebranded away from Unlimited Swipes, as if the unlimited part was really the issue with the name. But like, I don't know, being Swipes is fun. Yeah, running it back this year. Exciting stuff. We had our first real tournament this past weekend. Just got back from that on Sunday night. Mixed Easterns up in Devon's, Mass. Wanted to shout out Delaney and Teddy for coming up to me and saying hi. Please, if you're fans of the pod, like, please keep doing that. You don't need to like sustain a conversation with me or anything if like you don't want to. I'll talk at you. And, you know, in the case of last weekend, be overly apologetic that we haven't put out any new content, but super fun to meet some fans. You know, honestly, like friends of the pod is really what anyone is. If you come over and say hi. So Pockets, tell us what team you're going to play on and maybe where fans can come find you too.
Yeah, I don't like calling them fans.
I don't either.
I have, a voice in this world, but I will be playing on Jug Handle again. If anyone, I don't know, I guess is new to the podcast. Yeah, if anyone is new to the podcast, I played for them last year. We are a mixed team based out of New Jersey, kind of close to the Trenton, Princeton area. So yeah, playing with that group again. second year. They were a lot of fun to play with last year. And then just something that I've noticed from playing on new teams. I've played on, I guess, 3 club teams now. The first year is always not so awkward, but a little awkward. You have to get used to like meeting a new group of people. And then I felt by the end of the year towards regionals, I was like, damn it, I really like all these people. And now the season's over. So it's exciting to get to go back and see a lot of the same faces that were there last year and some new faces and continue those friendships and play some more Ultimate. So looking forward to that.
I'll be honest, the club season is way too short. It's way, 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 way too short. Like, I can't, we have like 5 tournaments, and that's like, if we don't make regionals, and like the goal is to make regionals, but we're in a tough section and this and that, like tryouts. I'm so glad tryouts are over because tryouts suck, but now we have to just like, it's going to be over too soon. And I'm like, I have to enjoy it for what it is instead of already dreading like the end already.
Yeah, that's something our coaches have been stressing a lot. So you had your first tournament this past weekend. We had our first practice, and we were actually thinking about going to mixed Easterns, but we had a lot of our women matching players not be able to make it. Some of them play pro. Some of them were finishing up some of their like summer traveling. Some had work commitments. So we just weren't able to go. So we did a double practice weekend instead. And that was a lot of fun. And it was a good way to, I don't know, meet new people. We did some, one of our players is a physical education teacher. And so he did like a warm up, get to know you game that he does with like his 5th graders.
Oh my God.
But it was like, we had so much fun with it, and we got really competitive with it. And it was just like a whole team building exercise involving like, there was this like jump rope, but like a massive jump rope, and you had to get the right number of people over it in rhythm. You couldn't let the jump rope go and no one go, and you had to get the exact number. So there was like some counting involved and strategy, and it was just also like silly, and you're holding hands and running across the field with people.
That's so fun.
I know, but yeah, something that the coaches have been saying since kind of the beginning of tryout season, to be honest, is the club season is a lot shorter than you think it is. You only have a total of maybe like 10 to 15 practices in a season. And then, like you said, like the 5 tournaments maybe. So you get to know these people very well because of the competitive aspect, and you're in a team and you're trying to win something together, but it does end up being really short, and then you're sad at the end of it. But yeah, then exactly. I don't know what we were saying just at the we were saying at the beginning of this podcast, we're tired. We don't have time all year to do all this.
You really don't.
So maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not jealous of you moving. I have decided to re-sign my lease with my roommate, so I will be in the same place for 2 years in a row. Wild. So it's nice to like finally be settled into some consistency, like you were saying. Like last year was my first year like really playing with swipes. We have a pretty new roster coming through, so it's just like getting to know each other. We're looking really good this year. I can give my little mixed Easterns recap because I've got some funny stories that I actually haven't told you yet. But we got second at the tournament, which was really, really exciting. That's actually the best that this team has done since I've played on it. Like Swipes has been kind of like a funny journey to be on. And I'm dealing with my own like imposter syndrome of like having a podcast and covering Ultimate, and then like wanting to be really good and not really being sure like, where talent is gonna just like, nudge me out because I'm small and this and that. So much to think about there as I like lie awake in bed at night every night this summer. But that aside, we got second. That was really exciting. We went 4-2. Obviously, one of the losses was to Scarecrow, who won the classic bracket at Mixed Easterns. And then you're going to get a kick out of this because I don't know if I'm an asshole or if I am like, I don't know. I'll tell you about it. So we lost to Sunken Circus. It was our third game on Saturday. The weather was so weird the whole weekend. Like, it would be like windy, and then the sun would come out, and then it would be raining sideways, and then it would like, well, and it wasn't ever really rain. It was like mist, so it was wet, but it wasn't like raining, and like the wind would pick up and this and that. And so we like really solidly won our first two games, and then we played Sunken Circus, and we had lost to them last year on Universe at, I think, Boston Invite, which was, you know, it was kind of exciting to have a rematch. We knew how they played, this and that. But like, this team it's the only team mixed team out of Portland, Maine. So if you want to play Club Ultimate, like, you have to play with them. They have a ton of chemistry together. Like, they know how to run a zone already, and like, our whole new O-line doesn't really know how to handle against a zone, so they like really got us, and we're kind of like, they super beat us, and that was like, you know, it was tough to end the day with a loss, but like, they just were a better team, yada yada. But I was standing on the sideline, and I overhear these two girls like whispering to each other, like that I didn't know, so they were like obviously Sunken Circus players, and they were like, yeah, you know, like, this team really seems like it's a lot more like for fun than it was last year when we played them. And like, I'm really glad I'm not playing right now, because I would just feel bad. And I turned around and I was like, are you talking shit about my team right now? And they were like, what? No. And I was like, I heard you say you would feel bad. Like, yeah, you guys are beating us pretty solidly, but like, if you're going to talk shit, like, go over on the other sideline. And they were like, no, I'm hurt. Like, I would feel bad if I was playing, like, this and that. And I was like, okay, like, I apologize if there was a misunderstanding, but like, also, whatever. And my friend was like, you're such a jerk. And I was like, listen. So it was just like such a funny thing. And like, my friends, like, because then I was like feeling awkward about it. And I like told my teammates, and they were like, they totally were talking shit. Like you don't deny it like that. Like, you don't get so defensive if like you're not getting like actually caught. Like, it was like the tone of voice.
I think what you did is perfect. Because I know you've stopped going on Twitter, but people on Twitter, one, are always like yelling and talking shit at each other, but then two, also complaining that too much shit talking is happening online and not enough in person. So I think what you did was perfect. Like, there's maybe like a 10% chance they weren't actually shit talking you, and if they weren't, we will apologize.
Here's the other thing. I think they were practice players. I never saw them on the field. Like, Sunken absolutely played their top line, and like, their top line pretty crushed us. Like, they were throwing some dimes and connecting, but these girls never saw the field.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were injured and they would have physically felt bad to play against you. But I think it's like, if someone's shit talking you on your sideline, even if it's not directly to you, and then gets called out for it, you gotta represent. You'd be like, yeah, because what, like,
they were winning. They could shit talk you. They had every right to.
They could turn around and be like, yeah, your team isn't as good as ours. Suck it.
Yeah.
Own up to it.
Not like, oh, I would feel bad beating them this badly. Like, oh, like, shut up. Like, it's a competition. Like, if you're gonna go talk shit, go stand on your sideline. Like, I found out that I am the nosy person on my team. A lot of weird drama happened at my spring league like last week, which was really funny. And I texted my boyfriend and I told him all of it, because he also loves drama. And then like, I was in the car with like some of my other friends on the team, and I was like telling them all like the drama, and they were like, how do you get all this? And I was like, I don't know, I guess I just like insert myself into situations. And like, I sure did insert myself, but also like, come on, like, people want to talk shit. Like, I'm all down for chirping each other. But like, that's my least favorite thing about Ultimate, is everyone like wants to be like friends with each other. And it's like, no, like, we can have healthy competition. We don't have to be besties. You know, you don't need my number. I hate Frisbee.
Not the flip-flopping of emotions. Well, that's an exciting weekend still. Glad you got second. In the end, well, did you lose to them in finals? No, right?
No, so Scarecrow beat Sunken in quarters in the bracket. And we won our way through our side of the bracket because we were the other side. So, like, we played Sunken, which was like the crossover game because there was basically like 2 pools of 4 and then 1 pool of 6. But like the pool of 6 was divided into 3. So then like the winners of the 2 pools of 3 played each other, and that was us and Sunken. And then the winner of the us and Sunken game played the winner of pool A. We played the winner of pool B, and like went through that way.
Okay. You could snap back and be like, we lost that game on purpose, so we didn't have to play Scarecrow till the end.
Yeah, literally. Like, I know. No. Just so funny. Yeah. It's like, do you really think that people like can't hear you? And I guess they thought they wouldn't get called out, but you know, am I the asshole?
Maybe this is a situation where everyone is the asshole. And that's fine.
Everyone sucks here.
Maybe everyone sucks here. We should do another one of those because that was a fun one. Especially now that the season's starting up. We'd probably get a lot of tryout-based ones. People that got cut and yelled about it or something like that.
Oh my god, we'd get so many.
But yeah, no. But yeah, cool. I'm glad Mixed Easterns was fun. Sad I missed out, but we could not. I would have died with the number of women matching players that we would have had. So
no, the weather was bad. The weather was bad. Like, as fun as it is to play like more tournaments, more fun, like you didn't miss out too much. And then I mean, like, I don't have a tournament until July now. So we have, Boston Invite, Philly Open, the Incident in New York. So that's where swipes will be. How about you, Pockets?
Nice. To be honest, I know the dates that we have tournaments because they're in my calendar, but I don't know where we're going. We have one at the end of we have one at the end of June 24th, June 25th. We have one in July 15th, July 16th. And then I didn't put the August ones in, actually. I'm prepared. I didn't think I would be giving people my tournament schedule. But yeah, our first one's not till June, which is nice. I don't know. We had basically a tournament experience without the worst parts of a tournament this weekend with our double practice. So we woke up early, but not too early. Practice on Saturday. Then we did a little grill and chill at someone's house. And we had fun. We did I did not participate. I videotaped this because Scotti knows I'm not very good at shotgunning. But we did a Capri Sun, for lack of a better term, shotgun race. We weren't like stabbing them and then sucking them down. But, who could get the straw in first and then you just squeeze it all into your mouth. And then we had practice on Sunday again. So it replicated a tournament. Kind of, without having to travel and without having to play 4 games in a day.
That's really fun. We have a double practice next weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's good for team building. Is your roster fully set yet?
I don't think so. Our captains were saying something about a flexible roster. So it's like, even if you are rostered, you might not get invited to every tournament or something. I don't really know. I'm going to not worry about it because I was rostered pretty early, especially just like as far as like visibility for gender equity. Jequity, as my friend Will would say, and has like tried to bribe me to say on air. There we go. For Jequity.
There's your $20. All right. I saw some roster announcements start to come out, but as of the day recording, there haven't been too many. I think Jug Handle was one of the earlier ones. But yeah, those double practices are really good to build that team chemistry because, I don't know, like I said, it replicates that tournament-esqueness without having to travel and having to compete against people. A little more fun.
I will also say, when you play for a mid-level, like sectionals level mixed team, we do have to wait for all the top teams to like really finalize their cuts so that way people can start trickling down to us.
That's fair. I think we had enough yeses. Like we had a lot of people that were like, "Yes, I want to play for Jug Handle," and we wanted them. I don't know why I'm giving my thoughts on the rostering process. I had absolutely zero say. I am still one of the worst rostered players on the team, but here I am. But yeah, I think we just had a lot of people commit early, so we were able to finalize it pretty early on, which is always nice.
That is nice, and you can
But
start
now that we
building
have,
chemistry.
yeah, now that we have the first weekend of Club Ultimate behind us, do you have any goals for the season? Anything you may want to improve on, maybe team wise or personal?
Honestly, team wise, we look really, really good. I don't know, like it's tough, especially with club, and like that's really the thing that I love so much about College Ultimate is like you have to work with who you have instead of like getting to pick and choose like who you want to be on your team. Um, so that's like it's hard to think about it like team wise. And like again, like I've been having like a whole ass conniption about like how in a couple of years, like we're just so lucky that like we joined Frisbee when we did because there will be high school kids like who have been playing since they pulled a Frisbee up and we wouldn't have even stood a chance, a snowball's chance in hell in college. But I think personally, like I really got to get my like anxiety in check. Like I finished the weekend with a positive, like plus negative, as far as like turns and stuff. Scored, I think only one goal. I'm on D line, so like that's not really a metric for myself. And like got some blocks. I want to like do more of that. I know I want to work on like trying to like bait blocks because I have really good closing speed. And I just want to like be more confident playing and like play a lot. Like my team was trying to run like more open lines, and I also definitely kind of got the short end of the stick because I'm so short. LOL. That that like I didn't get as much playing time in like crucial moments because we needed height, and I really want to like be a crucial like member, and I know that part of that is going to come with just like confidence.
Yeah, no, I think also maybe this is time for us and you to do a little bit of video homework and seeing if you can find players that are of your size and seeing how they play and what they do differently because you can definitely defend people that are taller than you. And I saw it. I know this isn't a club example, but I saw it at League last week. We have a very short woman matching side of the roster on our team, and we were playing like the tallest woman matching player team at League, and we were still able to get some deep defensive Ds. So I think you'll be able to get there, and don't let just thinking that you're smaller than some of the other players get you down.
Yeah. I mean, I think like this definitely. I want you to share your goals, but then it'll also lead into our second half of the pod, which is I think like I really need to watch like Kara Sieber play more. She plays for Gridlock and Exist. I've played against her and with her a couple times at like Golty, and I think like she and Emily Barrett are two like the nicest people in like the elite New York scene. I think they're so cool. And Kara's like my height, and she's a freaking baller. And she plays for D-line. She plays D-line on Gridlock, and I'm like, I need you to teach me your ways. And I know she's one of those kids that's been playing forever, but that's just like more reason for me to get like throws and catches and touches and like all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think just playing as much as you can too. Does it help being in New York City where you could just kind of like go to whatever, or are there limited playing options? I know you don't really have many leagues always.
So I played Brooklyn League, which was Friday nights, and that was like the highest. That's like the highest level league in the city, and it's really high level. There's pretty much all the elite players. Like that's their scene for casual ultimate, and it's not very casual when you're like a sectionals level, wannabe regionals level player, and you have to guard like a national, like a exist all American player. But you know what? It is what it is. And then I play in like a more casual, like respectfully shittier league, and like that's just because like the turf is bad, and like anyone can sign up, so it's really all levels. And like my main goal there is like I need to have goals, like setting. It's like, oh, I want to really focus on my round backhands. I don't want to like turf them. Like I want to focus on this or that. So there, unfortunately, I like never play full field sevens. I almost always play like fives, or it's like threes. Like New York is very much like a mini, because we don't have field space.
That's
it has
very
to be
fair.
mini. Like it has to be like a lot of give and goes. And I think that that's really the hard thing, is like finding the space. And honestly, for me, a lot of the times, another person to just throw with. Like my roommate and I will go and throw, because she's trying to learn how to play frisbee. And like it's good for both of us, because I get a lot of practice catching all sorts of wonky shots.
A little cardio in your throwing workout.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been just trying to focus on like getting it like directly to her chest, and then that helps her just with catching in general. So it's good all around, but like it is definitely hard to live in a place that is so metropolitan, and it takes so much activation energy, especially since I work from home, to have to like get up and go to a random field and hope that like there's space and there isn't some kid just like there in my way. So
No, that's fair. I didn't know like how many pickup opportunities that you had, just because it's such a big city, but I guess the field space issue makes sense. Although I hate the sound of threes, not gonna lie. But fives I think would be very good for improving, because I mean whenever we've talked about like our college level, I remember one thing that we said a year or two ago that was like advice for the first college practices is doing like fours or fives, because then people are just forced to move more, forced to get touches. And we even had that in tryouts this year. We were doing fives and fours instead of like full on sevens, because there's not an opportunity to really like hide and do nothing on the field there. You have to work, you have to be a person. So that might actually be helping you more, the limited field space.
yeah, it definitely is. It's kind of tough to get like defensive practice in fives, but say la vie.
Yeah. Well, for me to take over,
Yes.
I think my goals, I have very specific ones. One, my hip hurts, and I don't know why, but I want to start lifting. Well, I have been lifting more, and I know that's been helping. So I want to keep up with that.
Yay.
Just to make sure that that pain goes away. And then I don't know if you've seen him. Oh God, let me look him up. The guy on Instagram, and I'm going to talk very slowly as I type this in. Tobu Fitness.
I have not.
Have you seen him? He does a lot of videos on strength and conditioning. And I had called the place that I went to PT last year for my knee, because they were like, oh, you don't need a script which is like a doctor's note. You don't need a script to come here. And I called them, and they're like, yeah, but you do need a script to get this covered by your insurance. And I was like, oh. So I might like reach out to him, because he offers these either 30-minute or hour consultations. And I might just be like, hi, do you have any exercises that you recommend to help with this? Because I'm just kind of doing it from what I Googled online. I did try Game Point Performance, I can speak, And I do think they're very good. My issue is I live in an apartment with a very small gym, and that gym doesn't have a lot of equipment, and I mostly rely on dumbbells. uh, so I just found myself switching out a lot of those exercises for like replacements, and then I was just doing a lot of Googling on my own, so I gave that one up. But maybe he'll have a few ideas for exercises I can add. So, fixing my little injury. I can still run around and stuff. It just hurts sometimes. And then I think a big one for me, I feel like I've improved my person defense ever so slightly. But I would like to focus on that deep defense, especially because I really can't jump. And I think it's mostly
Sorry.
Don't make fun of me. I think it's mostly an afraid thing. Because I've sprained my ankle twice. One in volleyball, where your opponent is on the other side of the net. For some reason, not for some reason, but I jumped up to block the ball, and the fucking girl's foot is under the net, and I landed on it, and I sprained my ankle really bad, and that finished my volleyball career. And then, flash forward like a few years in college ultimate, a similar thing happened, and I twisted my ankle, and it took me out for the rest of that spring season. So now I think I'm just afraid of jumping because of the potential physical contact and my weak ankles. So I had to figure out how to mentally get over that, and then also learn how to jump again.
Yeah, there definitely is like a risk of physical contact. I had that issue at Mixed Easterns, and I texted you about it. But like a floaty disc went up, and me and a girl were like jockeying for space, and I went up and like swatted it away over her, and then like we kind of came down into the same space, and she called a foul on me, and I was like, I think it was clean, contested it, but I'll have to send you the footage of it. So
yeah, I'll hyperanalyze.
Yeah, it is a tough one. Like I don't know, to be that, I don't know, what's the right word here? Like embracing that forward with like potential contact. Comfortable?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta get used to that. And I don't want to hurt people is also part of it too. So I got some gangly arms that don't really know what they're doing.
But you got length.
I'm slightly taller. I measured a bunch of people in our college friend group while in college. We all measured each other to see whose wingspan was, because I think your wingspan is supposed to be your height. Mine is shorter than my height. I don't actually have long arms. I think I just have a small torso and also have skinny arms, which make them look longer.
You are kind of spidery.
Yeah. Now that I do have the issue where I'm lifting more, and then also obviously Ultimate has started up, and I'm not eating enough protein. So I'm struggling. I need more energy. I need more fuel.
I need meat.
I need meat. I made the stupidest decision. So I got protein powder, but I got protein powder at Wegmans, where if you're not familiar with Wegmans, it's like a fancy grocery store. Not, what's that LA one? Hermes? Is that something else?
Erewhon. It's Erewhon.
Erewhon. What's Hermes?
It's a fancy bag company. Like they make Birkins.
All right. Well, Erewhon. It's not like that, but it's slightly nicer than. Oh my god, you're normal. Yeah, I'm intelligent. But I got protein powder from there because I was just like, I'm grocery shopping and I'm lifting weights now. Let me buy this. And one, I tried making a smoothie. It tasted gross. And then the second time I Googled, I was like, would this taste good in my coffee? Because, you know, it's like chocolate flavored. And the internet told me yes. And then my body told me no.
No!
It was fucking disgusting.
That's so upsetting.
Gross. So now and I don't like meat. Maybe I start making eggs in the morning, but eggs are more expensive now. And then also, like, you know that meme where it's like, when you're eating scrambled eggs and halfway through you realize you're eating an egg and it just tastes too much like egg.
Yeah. I've been in my egg ick era for like 2 months. Well, since eggs like started spiking, actually. So I don't know. I guess that's my economical girly tip is be afraid of eggs. Be grossed out by eggs and then not eat them. I do eat meat though. And I don't know. I'm like scared of protein powder. My friend told me that she thinks that like our bodies aren't, or like, you know, she does social media for fertility clinics around New York. And she was telling me that like the doctors that she works with think that like the effects of protein powder, like the amount of protein that we're putting into our bodies, like we're not supposed to, like we're not built to like consume that amount, like, and it's gonna like fuck up our stomachs in the long run. So now I'm double scared of protein powder.
Well, I don't think I'm getting enough protein even with the protein powder, to be honest. Like, I eat a bagel for breakfast. I sometimes eat lunch, and it's usually like pasta with butter. And then when dinner comes around and it's like, is Sponge cooking or am I cooking? If he's cooking, yeah, we're eating meat. If I'm cooking, I'm afraid of cooking chicken. So we're probably having pasta.
Yeah.
All right, that's goal number 3. We can wrap up this conversation with goal number 3 is to learn how to feed myself like an adult and eat more protein. All right. Well, excited for the club season. Excited for what's to come. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about PUL, the upcoming championship weekend, and who should get the wildcard spot.
Wildcard.
We are very biased. Yeah, wildcard. We are very biased for 2 opposite teams, so it should be interesting.
Hell yeah.
Hello, and welcome back after that little break. As we mentioned, we're going to be talking about PUL, Premier Ultimate League, and the upcoming championship weekend, which is going to be in 2 weekends from us recording this, so June 17th, June 18th. As a former Conshohocken girly and now living in New Jersey, I am a Philadelphia Surge fan, and then Scotti, obviously living in New York City, is a New York Gridlock fan. And
yeah.
Dun dun dun, both of those teams are likely going to be vying for that wild card spot, that 4th spot for the championship weekend. And we both have feelings about it. Who should get it? So I'm going to start this off for anyone that doesn't know. Also,
including me, I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Scotti doesn't know, ha 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 ha, and then I'm confused. But these are the playoff qualifications. So for the first 3 spots, it's pretty easy. It's whoever is the winner of their division. So for PUL, there are 3 divisions: the East Division, which makes up New York Gridlock, Portland Rising, DC Shadow, and Philadelphia Surge. For Midwest, we have the Milwaukee Monarchs, Columbus Pride, Indy Red, Minnesota Strike. For the South Division, we have Nashville Nightshade, Raleigh Radiance, Atlanta Soul, and Austin Torch. For East Division, it's definitely DC Shadow has won that, and then I forget. Raleigh's won South, and then I forget who won Midwest. I gotta look at those results. But that's not why we're here. We have Philadelphia versus New York. So for that wild card spot, there's going to be a committee of, I believe, 12 people that are going to decide who gets that wild card spot. It could not be Surge or New York. That would be fucking crazy, right?
Right.
If you were on that committee and you weren't a fan of either of them, would you just vote for someone else? Just say fuck it?
I have no idea what like qualifiers they're even using to vote. Like, I haven't really been keeping up with the PUL season, so like with the exception of Gridlock, because I've been like wanting to go to like one of their games, and then of course they've all like all their home games have managed to be like when I've been out of town, so that sucks. But like I don't really know, you know, what like qualifiers they're doing to like just vote.
Okay, so for the like division winner, it's only intra-division records that we're counting. So that's how those three were determined. So I'm reading directly from the website here. The fourth team at PUL Championship Weekend, the Wildcard, will be selected by power rankings, with the highest ranked non-division winner, so one of the not three teams that were listed before, claiming that wildcard spot. These power rankings will be voted on by a PUL committee of experts and published after weeks 6, 8, and 10. So I think only week 6 has been published. At least that's what's on the website. And is the champ? They should be posting week 8 soon. Have they not posted week 8? Where's week 8?
I don't know.
The championship is in 2 weekends. All right. These power rankings, blah 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 blah. Oh no, they do have week 8 power rankings on the website. Apologies, the PUL is not falling behind as much as I thought. Their link to the power rankings only said week 6 though, but then you click on it and it's both. So
I was gonna say, is the website as terrible as USAU's?
No, it's not. It's very pretty, and they have all the data for the standings that I need. But yeah, so DC Shadow, Radiance, Strike, those are the 3 division winners. As of week 8, the PUL committee, whatever, has this as the top 4 power rankings, and I'm only saying that because we care about Philadelphia and New York. So Shadow first, Minnesota Strike second, Philadelphia Surge third, and New York Gridlock fourth. So that's after week 8. Week 8 was when New York Gridlock defeated DC Shadow by 2 points. The formerly undefeated team went down. So, yeah. I don't know if those... Since that game happened in week 8 and those power rankings came out in week 8, I don't know if they're interpreting that win into these power rankings. While we're talking about professional ultimate, this is completely off tangent. I was there in person for the Philly Phoenix New York Empire game. And it was good. I don't know if you know. So it was back and forth, tied, goes into overtime. But then Empire wins by 2 in the end. So
New York supremacy.
Yeah. It was an exciting game though. I was having a good time there.
That's so fun to go to and watch.
Yeah. We were unfortunately on the New York or the away side, even though it was a Philly game, just because the Phoenix moved to a new field site and it's not that big. Also, they only have 2 porta potties there, and I was sad.
Well, hey, while you're scrolling, should we discuss who we think, maybe not who we think, but just like the 2 teams that we're rooting for to get that bid?
Well, yeah, why don't you give your spiel on New York Gridlock, because I think you know them better than I know Surge, and say why you think they should get the wildcard spot.
Okay, so I'm just going to rip this off the dome. It's really funny. We were talking about like the teams and like I don't really have any like stats and numbers and figures. I like only have vibes to go off of for Gridlock. But like I was saying in like the previous part of the podcast, you know, I have gotten to know a number of the players on Gridlock. A lot of them are in Brooklyn League, which I played in for the first time this spring. It was really fun. It was really freaking challenging because I kind of got my ass handed to me a little bit, but I did my fair share of scrapping as well. Emily Barrett was my captain for my Brooklyn League team, and we actually won. And I will take some credit because I was on the field, but she also did sky 2 dudes in an end zone, and that was like the sickest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So definitely carried. I like it's really cool to like be in the New York scene and like kind of like get to know the Gridlock players like as people. See how I match up against them. It's brutal. And like we watched their game against Torch on Saturday night, like with my entire club team in the hotel. We were bummed that we couldn't be there to actually go watch. I was asked to, if I was available to commentate, and I had to say no. I was so sad because I had a ton of fun commentating at D3 Nationals. We'll talk about D3 Nationals in the PS zone. But like Gridlock just is really solid and they have really good chemistry. All the players individually are super, super good. I think that they get a lot of they've gotten a lot of cool Ds, especially against Austin, and like really like never let up the pressure. And so they ended DC Shadow's undefeated streak. I think they have what it takes to win it all.
Yeah, no, I will give them that. They beat Shadow, but I will also say Surge did beat Gridlock at the beginning of the season. I think that's really what this comes down to. I can't find where someone tweeted it out where it's like, these are the guidelines that the committee is looking at. But basically, like, if the power rankings are too close to tell, so like Surge and New York are very, very, I don't know, powerfully matched, then they're going to be looking at like the head-to-heads, point differentials against other teams, and I think one of the stats that it's not really a stat, but one of the things that they said that they're going to be looking at is which players were actually rostered and available for which games, which that one is kind of crazy to me. So I think obviously, so Surge has the win against Gridlock, but I think the rest of the schedule, I think Gridlock has beaten similar teams by a more amount, potentially. And then also during that Surge Gridlock game, Gridlock was missing, I think someone said like 6 starting players, 6 powerful players. So that's something to consider as well. Although I don't think that last one should count. Like, your team is as strong as the roster you are able to bring. NFL teams don't get an advantage because their star quarterback was hurt during a game. They don't get points for that. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I don't know Surge as well as Gridlock. Unfortunately, I do not get to play with as many of those players now that I live here in New Jersey. But the jug handle captain is on Surge, and I love her. So, Surge all the way.
Hey, and Maddie Cannon, she's on Surge also. Fellow Lehigh grad.
Lehigh alum. We got a second jug handle player is on Surge. People I used to play with in PADA are on Surge. People I've played against on my favorite frenemy, Loco, are on Surge. I tried out for that team, as we discussed, and was cut immediately. I know they. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up. What would you think? And I've seen this going around the different Ultimate socials. Do you think there should have been a play-in game for the wildcard spot? Like 2 teams as close as this play each other to get into the championship weekend?
That would be cool, yeah. Like, really, like, earn your way in. And I think it also would help, like, just with momentum, for the team as a whole, like, to win their way into the championship and then cook.
Yeah. It's definitely easy. I think it's easy to think about because someone was saying that they should play the play-in game in New Jersey because it's middle ground for Philly and New York. And just be on completely neutral turf.
That'd be really funny.
I would fucking love to see that. I could go to that game very easily. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat seeing when these power rankings are going to be released and who gets that last spot into the championship weekend. I want to know because it kind of affects if I decide to go and watch.
Yeah. You'd rather
Would you go and watch? Yeah. Would you go and watch if Gridlock made it?
It depends on where it is. Like if I can reasonably go.
It is in DC.
Okay, yeah. No. Unfortunately. It's just that's a really long way. I don't have anywhere to stay. And I feel like there's a decent chance I'm gonna have some club thing.
Very fair. Yeah. I'm sad. I probably won't be able to go either. But the streams have also been really good. Like you said, you were asked to commentate. I have been enjoying a lot of the commentators. I've been watching a lot of the Gridlock streams because it's just impossible for me to get up there at a reasonable time for their games.
Yeah, and I mean it's always good to tune in and watch the streams, boost viewership, and honestly, I think that there's a conversion of the viewers who see ads. We talked a lot about that when we were producing D3 Nationals, so it's just kind of it's a really good way to silently support not just the division but the whole sport.
Are you talking about YouTube ads or the sponsors?
Both. The nice
I don't know.
The nice thing about watching PUL ads is you don't have to sit through frickin' Grit and Grace.
Yeah, that's true.
So USAU ad is not PUL.
I think that when that ad came on a lot during Nationals, one, Sponge had to watch me go crazy and try and watch every single game that was streamed. But every time that came on, I would just get heavily sarcastic at him. Just be like, oh, look at this. He's like, shut up. I don't care about this.
The only good thing about the Grit and Grace ad is Izzy Bryant is in it.
That's true.
He's the Exist coach and a New York guy. And we love New York.
Yeah, I know. I know you love New York. I know you love everyone from New York. Funnily enough, I'm familiar with Exist and who they are and who's on their team.
And who coaches them.
And who their captains are and everything. But yes. So yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see. Should we, to close out this segment, should we make a bet on...
I'll make a bet.
Who gets the wildcard spot? What do you want to bet? Well, last time we did... Oh God, I think it was over a year ago. We did a rap battle, and I think that was the worst thing anyone ever had to listen to. So maybe we do something else.
Well, I'm back on Twitter now, so I would send you a video of something. I'm not sure if I want to tweet you a video of me shotgunning because it's going to be bad. But
I have a good idea. So we both have to go to club practice or something. Oh God, do we want to get pied? Do we want to get a water balloon to the face?
What should we make?
I don't know if I want to bring a pie.
I would bring a plate and whipped cream. That's how people just cheese it.
Okay. So loser, if Gridlock makes it, I'll get whipped creamed, pied in the face. If Serge makes the wildcard spot, you'll do it. And then actually I found the Twitter guy. Ryan Kendall on Twitter. He does a lot of stats for WUL. He also has been tweeting out stats for PUL. I don't know if he does them official stats for them. But he says, I'm not going to read his entire thing, but basically the wild card would be either Strike, Surge, or Gridlock. So if Strike makes it, then we both get whipped creamed. So we'll have someone at practice take a video of us and then post it on Twitter.
Sounds good. I'm going to tell my club team now.
Perfect.
They're going to be rooting
right.
against Gridlock so they can pie me.
I know. That's the that's the issue, is if our team doesn't make it, then people on our teams are going to be also unhappy. But, all right. So, you know who we're rooting for. We'll see who makes it. Otherwise, it's going to be an exciting championship weekend anyway. With that, we're going to close out the main episode. But, Scotti, what are we talking about in the PS Zone?
Let's I'm not going to do a British accent. Let's do a review of D3 Nationals. I've got a lot to talk about, a lot of like content creation thoughts and feelings, tales that I'm excited to share with you. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Sweet. Sounds good. All right. So for now, I have been Chelsea Pockets.
I'm still Scotti Dempsey, and we'll catch you on the flip.